Money. We all need it to survive and thrive. We work day in and day out to make it. Most of us want more of it. Our social standing is largely a direct reflection of what's in our bank account or what we own. Many of us are enslaved by it. Money makes the world go round. But for something that plays such a large and important role in our lives, most people have very little understanding of the concept of money and its role in society. This is due in part because schools don't teach about money, and a lot of times, neither do parents. This leads to a lack of knowledge regarding money, how it works, how to obtain it, how to make it grow, and how to make it work for us instead of working for it. This leads to people being indebted to the bank for thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. This leads people to having multiple maxed out credit cards. This leads people to living a keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle, regardless of if they can afford it. And ultimately, this leads people to never achieving any type of real financial freedom or wealth. In fact, it ensures that people continue to be controlled by money instead of being in control of your money. But in order for you to have a grasp on your finances and be able to move towards building real wealth, you first need to understand money and its role in society. There are many types of monetary system, but the one used in most countries today is the fiat monetary system. Depending on where you live, this will likely be the monetary system within your country. The general basis of the fiat monetary system is that the government creates and controls the money supply, and the value of money itself is determined by the supply and demand in the market. What this means is that the government prints physical currency like paper bills and coins, which you likely have in your wallet right now. And they also create digital currencies like your bank account, debit cards, credit cards, and line of credit are considered digital currency. Although the government creates and controls the money supply, they are not the only key players in the currency world. Countries have their own central bank that is not under the control of the government, but also play a big role in currency. The central bank is a financial institution that oversees the country's policies and banking system. They have crucial responsibilities such as issuing money, regulating supply, maintaining policies, and if needed, lending money to banks in times of financial crisis. Due to their power and involvement, central banks also influence the money supply within your country. Some key ways a central bank can influence the money supply is by buying or selling of government securities on the open market, adjusting the discount rate, which we also call interest rate, at which commercial banks can borrow money from the central bank, or by adjusting the reserve requirement, which is the amount of money banks are required to hold in reserve. Depending on the action the central bank takes, it can lead to either an increase or decrease in the supply of money within the economy. Another player in the monetary system is commercial banks. Commercial banks are the financial institutions where you and I go to deposit and withdraw our money. Additionally, commercial banks issue credit cards, exchange foreign currencies, investment management, and lend money for things like mortgages to buy a home or business loans to help business owners. Unlike central banks, commercial banks are regulated by the government and don't play a role in implementing monetary policies or regulating the banking system. One thing commercial banks have in common with central bank is that they influence the money supply through borrowing and lending within the country. Although it should be noted that commercial banks are much more limited than central banks due to the regulations placed on them by the government and central banks. So why does this all matter, and how does it affect individuals? Well, as money is being injected or removed from the economy, inflation and deflation can happen, potentially leading to a recession, which is an economic decline. Inflation, or the inflation rate, is the increase in the overall price of goods and services over a period of time. This means the purchasing power of money has decreased, as things cost more now than they did before, which essentially means you get less value or return for your money than you did in the past. As it stands today, Canada and the US are experiencing inflation as there is a rising cost of goods and services across virtually all areas of life. We see this in cost of food, clothes, gas, and for the services we are paying for. High inflation rate can lead to a recession as it reduces consumer purchasing power while increasing the cost of production, which means what it costs to make and provide services. This is not good, as it leads to people spending less money, which in turn slows down economic growth, leading to a recession. One of the most well-known examples of this is the Great Recession from 2007 to 2009, which led to a high level of unemployment, bankruptcy, decrease in consumer spending, an increase in government debt, and a decrease in economic growth. Deflation, on the other hand, is the opposite of inflation, as it's when the overall cost of goods and services have decreased, which means the purchasing power of money has increased. Essentially, you're able to get more in return for your money. Although deflation sounds like a good thing, it can still lead to a recession, as people may hold on to their money in hopes of a further decline in the cost of goods and services. When people hold on to their money, it means there is less consumer spending, which can lead to a drop in production, decrease in wages, and loss of unemployment, which can lead to a recession. Overall, the government and central bank try to manage the flow and supply of money, as well as interest rates, to maintain a stable rate of inflation in hopes of preventing any major increase or decrease in inflation. Your main goal of maintaining this stable rate of inflation is to prevent a recession. As we see, money is a very important aspect of society and our day-to-day lives. As much as the government and banks are big players in the economy, so are individuals like yourself. We all play a part in how money is circulated, and we are all affected when there are high or low rates of inflation or a recession. This means you should put yourself in an agile position to manage times when inflation is high or a recession is happening. How can you do this? The first thing to do is to build an emergency fund. This is a great practice regardless of a recession or high inflation, as there is no telling what life might throw your way. As a great rule, the more money you can save in an emergency fund, the better. But you should aim to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. The second thing is to pay off debt or remain debt-free. One of the hardest part of rising inflation in a recession is the rising cost of interest. This means any debt you have during this period will cost you more, as your interest rate will increase. Buy a home below your means. Many people purchase a home based on your current economic status, and most people will buy right at the maximum of what they can afford, or even above the maximum. As we all know, banks are very giving when it comes to mortgages. This is a very unfortunate mistake people make, as when interest rates rise, people can no longer afford to pay their mortgages. This forces people to either take on more debt or sell their home, likely losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. The next thing you can do is look to increase your income through multiple streams of income. We live in a world where you can make money through several avenues, So exploring your different skills and ability is vital. Finding new ways to increase income will help if you ever lose a job or in times where things cost more money. Improve your skills. The more skills you have, the more valuable you are in the marketplace, which leads to higher income and the ability to increase income through multiple streams. One of the main goals of preparing yourself for these times is to ensure you are in good financial position to withstand the ups and downs of the economy. The other advantage is that during these times, there is a large shift in wealth. As the saying goes, chaos creates opportunity. What this means is people who are not financially stable tend to become more financially unstable, but those who are financially stable are able to take advantage of the economic downturn. For example, as people are forced to sell their homes, others are able to buy them at a cheaper price. As people are selling their investments, others are able to scoop them up for a lower price than they paid for. By putting yourself in a good financial position, not only are you able to weather the storm, but you have the potential to come out better than when you went in. So, by empowering yourself with the knowledge of money, the banking system, and the economy, not only are you armed with the information about such an important aspect of our everyday life, but you're also able to use it to your advantage. And the reality is, either you work for money or money works for you. Your choice. And that's it for today, everyone. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button to stay updated on all our latest Forex and financial videos. If you're new to the currency market and you don't know where to get started, enroll in our free Forex 101 course through the link in the comments below. This course teaches you the basis of the Forex market and how to get started to help you start your journey on the right foot. Until next time, hope you're out there living free.